Coming up next on Access Framingham TV, take a wine tour through Switzerland and France with my guest, Nicole Connolly. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Jack Barron, host of Travels with Jack on Access Framingham TV, where guests share with our audience a recent trip, a vacation, a cruise, or maybe a day trip right here in New England. You'll see their photos and hear about the exciting places they have visited. On this month's show, I'm very pleased to welcome back a frequent guest on Travels with Jack, Nicole Connolly. In June of 2016, Nicole visited the wine regions of Switzerland and Alsace, France, as she shares her trip with us today. What parts of the world have you visited? Please be my guest on Travels with Jack and share your travel experience with our viewing audience. Just contact us here at Access Framingham Television and let us know you'd like to be a guest. You can phone AFTV at 508-875-5434, or you can send an email message to info@accessfram.tv. Our associate producer will contact you to make arrangements for you to be on our show here on Access Framingham TV. If you don't live in Massachusetts, we would be more than pleased to assist with your travel to the Access Framingham studios. And now, let me welcome Nicole back to Travels with Jack.
Thanks so much.
All right, a little history for the folks. Nicole Connolly lives in Westboro, Mass. with her husband, Carl, who she always reminds me is from Ireland. Nicole grew up in Stuttgart, Germany, and was moved to the United States and has lived here since 1996. She is a commercial photographer by trade under the name Photo Fabulous You, and she also does German cooking.
Yep.
I remember you brought me strudel as part of her sharing her German culture.
Yes.
Nicole, a very busy woman, also has a German language meetup group that has more than 250 members.
Yep.
It's a lot of people. They get together once a month and, as she says, specken Deutsch.
Yeah.
Some of you may remember Nicole sharing with us her trip to the German auto museums, her Christmas market trip in Germany. I told her I remember all the schnapps. And her trip to Iceland. So in keeping with the trip with the schnapps, we're moving, I guess alcohol content, we're moving down to wine.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask Bill if he can get the photos ready, and we'll talk a little bit. Tell me what made you decide to go on a wine trip.
Okay. So it kind of came as a secondary thought. So the idea really was to go to Zermatt in Switzerland, which was like a dream that I had for a long time since I was probably 12 years old. My girlfriend has been there, and her father is an amateur photographer, and he had taken such beautiful pictures of the Zermatt area. And whenever I went to visit my girlfriend, those pictures were hanging up in the living room.
And that is what? Is it a mountainous area?
That's
Lakes?
right.
What?
Yeah, so it's a village. It's a small village, and it's the iconic mountain of Switzerland that you probably see in the Ricola advertisement.
Oh, that's
when
that
they blow
area.
the big horn,
Yes.
and there's a mountain in the back. Or if anybody has watched Heidi, that's the mountain that you've probably seen. So it's very iconic.
See, that's what we're always fighting. We want to retain a little bit of that original part of our different small towns here in New England.
Yes.
And we're always battling. Somebody wants to come in and put in a high-rise building and a mall next to a cow pasture.
Yeah. Well, this town there is no driving allowed. So
Really?
no cars. Yeah.
So they really are strict.
Driving is allowed, but no.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So no electric cars are allowed. That's about it. Or horse-drawn carriages.
Oh, so very.
Yeah.
They keep it very.
Yeah, they don't
as
want any
it was.
pollution in there. But that was the idea why I went into that particular area. So it's the Valais mountain area. So it's a beautiful area in Switzerland. And we actually stayed in Sierre. So we didn't end up all the way down in Zermatt where we stayed in a hotel there. We wanted to stay a little bit further
You went
away.
with Carl or you went with your girlfriend from Germany?
So that's a good
Neither.
question. I went actually with my parents.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I remember they were involved with the Christmas.
That's right. Christmas,
yes.
Yeah, there were.
Oh, they're good travel companions for you.
Yep.
Beautiful.
I make them travel. There they are, like just 3 hours drive away from something, but they wait until I come to take them. So it's the same. But so that's where we started in Switzerland. So it's we talk a little bit about that region and what's so particular about the wine there, because nobody really thinks like Switzerland wine. Is that really typical?
No, chocolate.
So, yeah.
Chocolate.
Yeah, Lindt chocolate, right?
Lindt, Karma,
cheese we
Felchen.
know.
They got nice chocolate in Switzerland.
Yes, definitely good chocolate.
And cheese, yeah.
And cheese,
and
exactly.
watches I think
Yep,
of.
yep,
But I think they have a huge medical,
Yes.
don't they? They do
Yep.
make a lot of pharmaceuticals,
Yeah,
the Swiss.
pharmaceutical. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Especially from Basel, Novartis is one of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So lots of pharmaceuticals. I mean, they're
Interesting about Switzerland, whenever I meet the Swiss, they're always in these other countries traveling, and they tell me they actually need to travel because it's so inexpensive where they go to that they can't eat at home. It's too much money. But when they travel, their
Yes.
Swiss francs do so
my
well,
God.
they
That's
live
true.
much more lavishly. So
That's
they
true.
say we're Swiss, but we have to travel in order to live the good life.
Yes, yeah, that's true. It's true.
I know it. It's an unusual situation.
Yeah, not so good for us. I have to.
How was the money situation
So
there?
as far as like the money comparison, it's pretty much 1-to-1, like with the U.S. dollar.
Okay.
But of course, your U.S. dollar doesn't go value-wise.
So give me
as
an
much.
idea. Let's say you go into a restaurant for dinner there, and it's comparable to, let's say, legal seafood here in Framingham, Natick.
Okay.
So it might cost you at legal scrod and a cocktail is 20 plus 10, 30.
Yeah.
Dessert and coffee, 40. Tip, let's say $50.
Okay.
What would that same meal cost you in Switzerland?
So as far as like they're not that much into fish, so it's hard to compare.
Change it then to
So
a...
I just give it to Italian.
Okay.
Italian food.
Yes.
So if you go for a meal like where you have maybe a salad, no, my parents are not big drinkers. They don't.
Okay.
I definitely have a glass of wine with
Okay,
my meal.
good. So give me a glass of wine with my Italian
So
dinner.
my dad is drinking mostly juice. You had a pretty good pasta dish.
Yep.
For 3 people, $300, close to $300. Yeah.
And here it would have been 120?
Yeah, probably a 120.
120.
Yeah.
Oh, so it really is
Yeah, it's really up there. Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
For
interested.
Italian as well. It's not like even like where you're thinking like, okay.
A steakhouse would be even more.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
don't think there was that much meat in the dishes. So it's pasta.
Pasta.
Yeah. Maybe some
So there is a
calamari.
big spread in pricing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I had heard that from the Swiss.
Yeah.
I diverted you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then as far as like, I mean, again, like I think we talked about, with Iceland, it's the same thing where it's expensive
Yes,
to
the
eat there,
food.
but the accommodation is cheaper. It's the same in Switzerland.
Oh, the hotels weren't bad in
No,
price.
so I like these days. I love traveling. I did it for the first time in California. I love staying with Airbnb.
Okay.
So we did that in Switzerland as well, and we stayed on a vineyard in Switzerland. And because it was the pre-season, we actually got to see, have the whole. It was like a castle on a vineyard.
Really?
It was a water tower originally, but that family had converted this water tower into a castle. So they pretty much, because it was pre-season, we were the only ones here, the 3 of us, my parents and I. and they pretty much gave us the key to the castle.
Oh my God. I don't know if, Bill, do you have a photo for us yet of the castle? I want to see that.
Yeah, so I have...
all right, we got a map.
So I have a map. The big red dot is the second area we're going to, which is the Alsace region, but the small little dot
is it the same as Alsace-Lorraine?
Yes.
It is,
yeah, so,
okay.
Originally, it went back and forth, of course, like between France and Germany, the area. But yeah, so that's on the map. I just wanted to kind of show where these regions were. So big red dot is the French region where we're going to after the Swiss region. So the small little dot is really at the bottom, like at the southern tip of Switzerland, very close to the Italian border. Yep. So, and here is
there's
the
Mom and
castle
Dad
in the background, and here's the first picture with my parents.
And that is the water tower behind you?
Yeah, that was the
it does
original
look like
water
a castle.
tower converted into a castle. And nobody, it was really just us, because the family that runs this place lived in their own house. So this is just the guest house, and they give you breakfast there as well. So it's 160 for a double room, 160 Swiss francs.
Yep.
Again, it's equivalent to dollars, so $160 to stay in this place with breakfast. So it was and it was such a beautiful view from there. And you were.
And I see they have the vines.
Yeah, breakfast is excellent as well. And the other thing that was kind of neat, they given us the key and everything, so we could go and leave. As we wanted, but there was also a fridge full with wine for us.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
So besides wines that they grow on this vineyard, they also have a lot of fruits. They started to grow apricots there.
Yep.
So they do have preserved apricots. They make fruit brandies, and actually I brought one. I didn't even open this yet. So this was again in June that I went there, but this is a framboise from, and I should say like
a raspberry.
It's a raspberry. Very good.
Well, you may not remember, but I'm in the food business,
yes,
and we carry a line called Hero, Hero, out of Switzerland.
Okay.
And we carry an apricot marmalade. We carry a seedless raspberry jam, raspberry with seeds.
Yeah.
A strawberry. And it's all from Switzerland.
Nice.
Oh, you're going to get me
so I
juiced
figured,
up here already.
I opened this just for you now, so we can have a little taste here and see if this is any good. So I'm just going to go a little bit.
I'm sure it is. Are you going to have a little bit too?
I'm going to have a little bit
Good.
myself.
We'll make a toast to our viewers.
Yeah. Showing that we are traveling well.
To the viewers.
Yes. Cheers.
Oh, very nice.
You can really taste the raspberries.
Yes. I don't taste any liquor, though.
That's right. We're just drinking juice here. It's no liquor.
Yeah, I'll take a little more, Nicole. That was good.
This was nice.
I was saying they didn't give me any water today.
Yeah, you can definitely see the...
So this will help me.
There you go.
Beautiful.
So, so the place is called Castel d'Aval. So that's the place called.
Yeah,
and again,
that.
I found it on Airbnb, and it was such a beautiful place. They only speak French. So I should say, in that region of Switzerland, they speak French.
Okay.
So it's right, there's a portion where they do speak German as well, so it's half and half. But
and what do they do for the grapes mostly? They make Riesling with it, or what is their popular wine?
They have like a very, very old grape. It's called the Resi grape. So they, but they're mostly, good question. I think they had some Chardonnays, they had some Merlots there as well.
Oh, okay, so variety.
Yes, a variety of them, but they definitely have their own particular grapes there as well, and their own names for them. But they have more common grapes that we know as well, so.
Now these are what, some of the
and they blend
wines?
them together. So those were some of the wines there. So I think there's a Castea. So I did take one bottle of the wine, like a petite bottle. There it is. So I had that one, and I took that with me to the room. And
you were with your folks, so I don't worry.
That's right. Yeah. So I said okay, after that big bill, from the Italian restaurant, it's okay, I might as well wash it down with some good Swiss wine. So yeah, this is all in the area, but we stayed there the night before. It's less expensive to stay outside than having stayed in Zermatt, which is quite expensive because it's a touristy attraction.
Because of the tourist attraction.
Yeah. And
so how far? Oh, the scenery is beautiful.
So from my
anyway.
parents' at Stuttgart, it's a 5.5-hour drive there.
Oh, so it's a hike.
And it's close to the.
But how far is the Airbnb from
Zermatt?
Zermatt?
About an hour.
Oh, so you were an hour away.
Just an hour away from there.
Okay, so a distance.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you can very well travel actually in Switzerland if you take the train. So there is a particular pass that you can pay for. It's 146 Swiss francs, again, dollars the same.
Yep.
But it gives you, you save 44% on a regular traveling ticket that way.
Bill would know that. Bill used to do international train software.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
Yes.
very interesting.
So
So you buses you can travel to, so you can get passes as well, but it's very beneficial, especially if you're not planning to rent a car when you go to Switzerland and you have kids. Kids actually under 16 travel for free.
Can I get away with it?
So maybe you put a little vest on.
Well, you know what? Today you're allowed
hat.
to do whatever you want anyway. All I have to say is I identify as a 15-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm allowed.
Yes.
Massachusetts law, whatever I want to identify. I'm 15, then that's what I am.
Age is just a
That's
number.
right. It's make
just a number.
It's what
like
you want to be.
Yes.
You can identify.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, beautiful to take walks around the vineyards. There's, and again, the pace as far as restaurants go, it's slower in Europe. So it's you definitely take a longer time to have your meal. I think during this whole trip, we didn't eat once indoors.
Oh, really? So you had lovely weather the whole trip?
Yes. And the particular thing about this region as well, I think both the two places we went to, it was the heart, Sierre is the heart of the wine region in Switzerland.
Now, is there a difference in culture between these folks in Switzerland versus the French who are near them? Did you hear any discussion that in France we don't do this? Whereas well, the Swiss are known to be very clean and very punctual. So if you're on time, that means you're already 10 minutes late. So, so they're very punctual. The country is very, very clean. Very clean.
And they're very smart people. So it's they have very good jobs. They make a good living as well. But like you said, they have to probably leave the country
they are
to
considered
enjoy.
a very high standard Western country.
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, that's. I think it's one of the reasons why we didn't stay in Zermatt and only stayed there for one day, because my father's like, I don't want to stay that long in Switzerland and give them all our money. Like, let's go back, like, to Germany, because I would have loved to stay there longer. But he had a good point, and this is why I'm wearing my hat here, because you see me.
Now, is this a Swiss hat? It looks kind of Frank Sinatra-like.
Yes, that's right. It looks kind of Frank Sinatra. So it's, we are close here to the Italian border, so it goes.
So in Italy, you would be at Lake Como in that area?
Actually, that's a good question. I think you're very close to Milan.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so. But it's like literally like you can, from the area that we saw up there, if you ski down the other side, you're in Switzerland and in Italy.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So you start in Switzerland and down in Italy.
I remember. Now this is. Now we're in the big time.
That's right. So that's the Matterhorn in the back.
So you're right near the Matterhorn.
Yes.
Okay.
The Matterhorn. So that's the famous mountain.
And that is in Zermatt? Or nearby?
Well, from Zermatt, you can see it very well.
Oh, really?
So it's and this is actually up on the Gornergrat. So you can take a little train up there. And again, that wasn't that cheap either. So the transportation isn't that cheap there.
So this is not a trip for our newlyweds. We had a young lady on who was getting married.
A wealthy newlywed, maybe, yes.
A wealthy newlywed. We were talking about where they could go for their honeymoon.
Or maybe where the in-laws pay for it.
Oh. No, kids, I'm not paying.
Yeah. So, but now we are actually downtown in Zermatt, and they have about 5,800 residents year-round. They live mostly.
So it's a small town.
It is.
5,800 people is less than Southborough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they live mostly from tourism, of course. They from the hotels, the restaurants, and it is very expensive. But it's a good destination to go to year-round. So right now, excellent skiing, and there you see, like in the back, there's the horse carriage, obviously. So I wasn't lying about that. There's no cars allowed.
I would never question.
And they make a big bucks with that too, because you know by the time you park your car and they transport you into this village, it's again like money you're paying for it, and it's not cheap. So anyway, we left our
I see the
car.
very traditional Swiss chateau type architecture.
That's right. It's so beautiful and charming, like the small little windows, the flower boxes in the windows, and we get to see a couple more. But yeah, this one really shows that there's just a green electric car behind it as well. So I can only highly recommend it because it's so charming and something you haven't really experienced. And look at the views you get.
So is that the Matterhorn again?
This is the Matterhorn.
Wow.
And it's like, look, the clouds around there. So it took a while to get the shot.
Did you say you can take some kind of train up the Matterhorn?
You can
really?
take a train up there. And it's the websites, there's a few different ones. There's Zermatt.ch, which is CH for Switzerland. Zermatt.ch is the website where you can really find out a lot about things that you can do there. But you can like take a theme and do a walking tour. So even though you take the train up, there's different stations, and you can tell them like, can you let me out at this station, and then you can actually walk down if you want it as well. And you can go to, like, if you're into flowers, you can go through a flower meadow.
Really,
or to
all up
particular
on the
lake.
Matterhorn.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Just at the bottom of that area, yes. So there you see, everybody's
right
eating outside.
Out of a movie.
Yeah. So I think you could probably
this was what
spot
month
James Bond
again?
there somewhere.
Was this what month?
This is June.
June. So you wouldn't have snow for skiing.
If you go in higher altitudes, yes.
Really?
You would still be able to
But in the winter, this is a big ski area?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's really what you're thinking about. They have the chalets up there.
Yeah.
I mean, you see how the houses in the background are higher up there, and those are again a lot of them are destinations for you to stay at in the wintertime as well in the summertime. Yeah, I love the wooden facades, and then the small little windows. So yeah, but you see, like, it's a lot of touristy kind of things. So.
That never bothers me. You want to know something?
No. Because you still can find your little nooks.
Yeah. I don't mind the tourist stuff. I don't know. They're touristy because they're an attractive destination people want to go to.
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely like it's great to take the train up on the mountain.
Oh, so I didn't know that you could take a whole train up.
Yeah. So that was the Gornegradbahn that takes you all the way to the top, and you get the best viewing platform then to see the Matterhorn and all the
Did you go up to the top?
Not to the Matterhorn itself.
No.
So just to the Gornegrad. Yes, I did.
Okay.
And that's 90, I think it was 96, Swiss francs, $96.
Cost you $100
to go up there per person.
Just to go up the mountain?
Yes, with that train, yes.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. It's definitely not cheap too.
Well, I read something this week. I think Disney World in Florida is now $107 a day or something.
Okay.
To visit.
Yeah.
So.
But it's more than just a train ride. You get on a roller coaster ride as much as you want.
You're there, they got you.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
It's true.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap. But again, if you have that pass, the pass gets you into museums. I mentioned
the rail pass.
The rail pass, yeah, that you can take.
Is the rail pass good for the Matterhorn also?
So it doesn't get you all the way, but you get a discount on it.
Oh, you get a okay.
Yeah, you get a discount, and it's
so
really
that sounds
worth
like
it
a pretty good thing to buy.
Yes, it is for sure. So, and again, like I said, kids travel for free if they're under 16. So why not do that?
Oh, it sounds very enchanting.
Yes, I can definitely recommend it. So, okay.
Now we're in Alsace, France.
Yes.
This looks pretty too.
Yes. So this is, I should say, like, it is in Alsace. That's what we Germans say,
Yep.
Alsace. But this particular town is called Colmar, and it's what they have in common with Sierre in Switzerland, where we've just been to, with the vineyards and everything. Those two towns apparently are the driest cities in their country. So there's not a lot of rain in those regions.
Okay.
So this one, Colmar, is also the heart of the wine region of Alsace, as well as Sierre was the heart of the wine region in.
How old would you say these buildings are?
Oh my goodness, yeah, they go. I mean, the village itself, I think, started probably somewhere around 8 BC or somewhere. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh, so some
long
of this
time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, and they're part of France. It's right at the border. You have the Vosges Mountains on one side, and this is why the region is actually so dry. It's because you don't get the air and the influence from the ocean, which is, I mean, it's still far away, but you don't get the
rains
streams
don't get by the mountains.
past the mountains, yeah.
Oh,
And
well,
so you
that
have
makes
the
sense.
Vosges Mountains on one side, and then you have the Rhine River on the other side.
Now, what are we looking at for the water? Is this a part of the Rhine
water
River?
itself, no, it's
No.
not. It's not. But I bet you can from there. There's a canal that brings you to the Rhine.
Oh, okay.
But this is actually called the Petit Venice. So it's the little Venice.
You're so smart. Look how you know everything.
So it's a little Venice.
Okay.
That's very famous for Colmar. And we really went there because, again, my father was saying, okay, we're not staying in Switzerland. So I was starting to look in Germany, if you should stay there somewhere. And then I just happened to look over to France. And I said, oh my God, it's so much cheaper to stay there. And again, I looked at Airbnb, and we stayed with this, had a whole apartment to ourselves. So that's the thing, if you pay for 2 rooms in a hotel, it's one thing. But there you have a full apartment, with 2 bedrooms. And, you have a garage there. You don't have to pay
Now, do they
for
send in a
parking.
housekeeper every day for you?
No.
No, okay.
No, but you don't need to. I mean,
Okay.
You can make your bed yourself.
Yes.
But you have a full kitchen, so if you decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to get a couple
Well,
of
the other
yogurts and
place
have
gave you a
breakfast.
fully stocked refrigerator with wine. You
Yes.
were probably happy.
Yeah.
Pick up some cheese and bread, you're all set.
Yes, exactly. So,
Oh, look at this.
So there you actually see the little Petit Venice, the little boats. Again, electrical, so no motor boats on there.
Really? They were that
Very
strict?
quiet, yeah. So they really preserve the nature in there as well. So they're very quiet little motors that are going through there, and they're popular. You see, this was really in the beginning in the morning time, and I photographed them from my boat. So. But there's another one you can see, so this is kind of where you take off. There's 2 or 3.
So this is very popular, this little boat ride around the town.
Yes, it is. So it's again very charming. So there's my parents again, this time taking a look at the menu, and as you can see, there's a German and there's an English flag. Yep. There's
Yes,
an English
I see
flag.
it.
So don't be afraid, you in France, thinking oh my God, I won't be able to speak any French. Are there, sometimes you hear that people think, okay, when we went to Paris, people were not very friendly.
I never had that complaint with the French, honestly.
No? Okay.
No, and in the restaurants, they always, for some reason, were always
in
helpful
Paris?
to me.
Yeah.
Even in Paris, yeah.
Okay.
My only complaint with Paris was the prices. I remember we'd go to breakfast. I haven't been to Paris maybe 3-4 years, but I remember we'd have a croissant and a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm walking out of there $12 each,
Yes,
and I'm, but
but
again,
it's a city on the other hand as well. So it's, I mean, you would pay that same price in New York. So.
maybe, but
Yes.
no, that was my only thing I remember in a negative. I always enjoy France.
Yeah. So
Today I'm nervous to go a little bit, but not this area, but the big cities because there's so much going on with. With the so very, very charming. The people are very welcoming.
very friendly. And, even with our history as a German, the region used to be German, then it was French again, and then it went back to Germany. And so it was kind of in between. But this is a typical kind of way they serve the wine over there. These glasses with the green long.
Oh, really? Is that for a particular reason? Is that just there?
That's just very typical for that area.
Region, really.
And then they serve it in this
in the little crock.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
So.
Oh, you mean so wherever you went, you found the restaurants served that green stem?
Not every single
but a
one,
lot of
but
them.
It would be a typical thing for the Alsace
that's
region
interesting.
for sure. And there's also a dish that's very typical for the Alsace region. You can call it the pizza of Alsace. So it's a kind of like a pizza dough. I almost find it like more like a noodle dough. It tastes more noodly.
Really?
And it's flaky. It's light, very, very light. So you can easily eat that whole thing by yourself. There's a cream cheese on the bottom. Then there's little sautéed onions and a ham on it. And that's it. So
a little bit like a quiche, but a different kind of dough.
Well, a quiche is like normally fluffier.
Right.
But that is like thin, super thin.
Okay.
And that's I love
again that region.
It's called a Flammkuchen.
Okay.
So there you go again, like how the influence is from
Germany.
From Germany.
Yeah, because that sounds German. Oh, good. Yeah. You like me. You take pictures of the menu.
So I took a picture of the menu, and the reason I did that, and I hope the viewers can see this, is because to give you an idea what the prices are. So you can, if you have a meal with meat, and they're, again, very similar to the German kitchen, so there is a lot of sausages as well on the menu.
Oh, so this area you felt still had a lot of German influence in the cuisine.
Yeah, so it's, you could go either way. It could be like the Germans influenced or the French influenced the Germans.
Well, no, I think we have places in America, for example, in California.
Yes.
If you're in like San Diego, you may have a lot of Mexican influence.
That's right. So the same thing,
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. But it's, again, not one day did we eat indoors. We always ate outside. And it's a simple thing. There was no rain ever. It was like beautiful, warm as well to sit outside, and you just wanted to soak it in. Now, I do have to say, like, one thing, eating outside, al fresco, as the Italians would say, you do get your smokers out there too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right.
So, so that's the kind of annoying thing about, eating outside, but that you have to deal with some smokers once in a while.
If you get a little breeze, you don't,
Yeah, or you have enough
I see the pretty
wine.
flowers and everything.
Yes, so beautiful, charming again. And then to talk a little bit about the wine that they have actually in that region. So I brought a few of them, and I'm giving Julio's and Westboro a plug for these because they do have a great selection of Alsatian wine. I probably saw about close to 10 in the shop. And so this Hugel is a brand that's very popular, Alsatian. They are known for Gewürztraminers and Riesling. So Riesling probably being the most popular one.
That's what I always remembered from that area, yep.
So Gewürztraminer. This one is from Requivir. It's definitely a very, very popular region as well. How do actually the prices of wine compare to Europe, especially in Germany? We eat like so cheap. Like food in Germany is very cheap.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. So again,
I love German food.
Yeah.
And I love the soups, and I love the mushroom soups. I love the big.
I love mushroom stuff.
The knockwurst and the bratwurst. I love all that stuff. The Wiener. I like German food.
Yeah.
But I never thought about pricing. But you're saying in reality you find pricing for food in Germany inexpensive.
Yes. So if you're coming from Massachusetts, you go into Switzerland, you're probably used to kind of like the prices because it adds up to the, it's expensive to go out here as well.
But Germany I would find reasonable.
Very cheap. And also the Alsace region, very cheap to go to eat. Wines. So none of these wines that I brought here, I'm showing another one here. So none of these wines, I have 3 here. So this is a Gewürztraminer. We're all beyond $20. Now, if you buy these in Germany, any of these, or in Alsace, you probably pay half.
Oh, so not expensive at all.
So I think in general, I didn't find, like when you buy cheese or wine here, I find them there, even if it's like cheese from Vermont, it's still expensive, like a cheese that you would buy from Switzerland. So in general, you get wine on average, a bottle, like you pay like $8.
That's not a lot from that kind of area.
No, not
You know,
at all.
because their labor is expensive.
Yeah. So
His
and
mom
the
and
cheese the
dad.
same. Yeah, so there's my mom and dad again, and I have a very, very interesting thing as well to tell you about Colmar, because there's a big connection to this area here too. But yeah, so there's my mom and dad again. So
Your father looks a little French, believe it or not.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's very typical German. He was born close to the Polish border, and my mother is actually she's from Slovenia. So
Oh, really? Where is that? Where Melania Trump
Yeah.
is? Oh, really?
Yeah.
So does she know that family?
no, she
Oh,
wouldn't know
okay.
them.
Oh,
She's
it's
actually
not
from a
that-
different area.
It's
in
not that big a
Slovenia, so-
country.
That's right. Yeah, I was lucky enough. I actually photographed the Prime Minister of Slovenia 2 years ago.
Oh,
so-
really?
Yes. Yeah. So, but it's going to be interesting.
all of a
what's
sudden,
happening
wouldn't
now.
it be interesting if all of a sudden Slovenia becomes the big tourist
Ooh,
destination? Everyone's
Yeah.
running to Slovenia.
Good wine there as well. They do
Oh,
a lot
really?
of great Muscatello wine. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I love the wine. My grandmother.
Slovenia is near Estonia, isn't it?
No.
No, okay.
It's surrounded by Italy, Austria, Hungary, and then Croatia.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the regions it's
all
surrounded
right.
by. But they have mountain regions. Skiing is very big there as well, and they have oceanside as well.
So the ocean side would be
Like it's
on the opposite side of Italy, on where
so
Rimini
the Adriatic
is?
Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Croatia and Dubrovnik.
Yes,
that whole area
Dubrovnik,
being very
yes.
very popular these days to go.
It is.
to visit, and it's just I have a tiny little tip in the north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it goes
Oh, and
over
they have
into
a good
Italy.
and they have a good wine selection
Yes,
there.
very, very good wine
Really?
selection.
Oh, you've
yeah.
got to make that your next trip. That'd be a great
Yes.
story. You could
Yeah.
show us. All right, so
Yeah,
I'm,
I can
I'm
definitely do that.
Taking you away from your photo. This
so
is
I
what?
just again, like I love the charming houses in through the village. They have a old village part in Colmar, and we really just wanted to make this our hub to go and travel by maybe to Freiburg and maybe go to Strasbourg or maybe back down to Basel, Switzerland. But we liked this village so much. We stayed there the whole 3 days that we booked there. So it was just because there's so much to discover, so much to see. I mean, the boat tours.
Now
we
this
did,
to me looks actually like some of your German pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could really.
Yes.
Yeah, you could really be in Germany, like especially in my town Esslingen, where I was born. It's very, very much like
Yes.
that. But yeah, you can definitely spot some tourists there. And Paul's.
I know Paul's.
I had to put that one in. So Paul's exists in Colmar as well. I mean, you have excellent bakeries there. So Paul's is actually not a bakery. It's called a pâtisserie, because you can only call yourself a boulangerie, a bakery, if you make the breads in the place itself.
In the place.
Yes. So
Yeah,
this
Paul's
is
is a big proof and bake, I think.
that's
They buy,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. So they get the breads delivered. It's still
Yes.
fresh and everything,
Yeah.
but they cannot.
Oh,
call
really? So legally you can't call yourself?
No.
Oh,
I'm saying
that's
no,
okay.
like the French.
No, that's all right.
So again, you see everybody's eating
I
outdoors.
do see outside is big.
Yeah, and I love like the little flower baskets on the windows. It
Yes.
just is so charming, and you don't
Yeah,
see
no,
that
it looks
much
lovely.
here. So you kind of see that a lot in Austria as well. But yeah, in France, it's just as popular and very, very clean. So
And I think I see,
Lots of
well,
great-
in that other picture, I saw the where the chef probably belonged to that group of very fine dining. I saw the see that sign up next to the flowers.
yes.
I think I can't remember the name of it, but it's
Don't know if that maybe is. Yeah, I mean, one is like they sometimes put the signs in for the beers that they serve
Yeah.
there. So if they serve a Polana, which like
But
would
they
attract
also sometimes
Germans,
belong
you know.
to a group that is very fine, like Chateau Realis, something I
Okay,
think like
okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, this is a
yeah.
charcuterie
Yeah.
Zimmerin.
Yeah, so that's it was a butchery.
Oh, look at him. He's got the lion with the axe there.
yeah.
To break up
And then the little pig that
Oh,
has
I
the
see
string
it.
attached.
Wow.
So that was a butcher.
Wow.
So a sign of a
that's his
butcher.
coat of arms. He's got
Yeah,
a...
and the sausages around, you see.
Oh, I didn't even oh, wow.
Yeah, so I love those little signs. So
Yes.
That's just makes everything charming. in the village. And
wow, that's terrific. That's a good coat of arms.
Yeah. So one of the attractions they have there is the museum unter den Linden, which is just newly renovated, and it has beautiful art in it, as well as like a lot of. They have like a church, a whole piece.
Now these are what, miniature trains?
So this is another museum that's there. It's called the Toy Museum.
Okay.
They have that there, and it's just great, like, because they let you play with things, and they had the trains there as well. So actually,
these look pretty big though for toy
those
trains.
are bigger. Yeah, they're definitely bigger trains. So they would be like almost like wine bottle size trains. But yeah, so they had trains there. They had like the Smurfs the Smurfs are actually from, I think they were from France. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So Smurfette. Yeah. So but the Unter den Linden Museum is definitely worth a trip. A lot of people go and see that.
Now, when you say the Lind, you mean Lind Chocolate Museum or?
Unter den Linden.
Oh, Linden.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means linden is a tree.
Oh, okay.
A type of tree, and it means like under the tree, under that particular tree. So
okay.
Unter den Linden. Again, you see the German history in that village. So, and
I can tell by the architecture. Yeah.
I mean, really all around there. If you travel in any of the other villages, like I had here the Requevier. I think one was here from. France, it was from Eugesheim, so Heim again is German. I actually also saw some organic wines in Julio's liquor store as well. And I think this other one was from, I have to look at it. So Trimbach is also a very...
in Europe anyway, you can't do GMO.
Ribeauville.
You can't do GMO, you can't do genetically modified in most of these countries anyway in Europe.
Yeah, so they're very particular about
yes.
that for sure. And they have like a logo normally on it that gives you the indication, what quality wine it actually is, with the A.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They rate them?
Yes. So
I didn't know that.
Yep, so you can belong to one of 3 categories. But this one is Ribeauville, which is very close to Colmar as well. So Trimbach is a very, very popular
And this
wine.
is a Riesling.
Yeah, so Riesling, Gewürztraminer, and I actually don't know what the Hugel is.
Oh, and it says it's controlled by the Alsace, so it must be very much like Champagne, where in order to be listed as an Alsace Riesling, you must follow their dictate.
So it's actually a good point about the wines as well. So Alsace region is mostly known for white wines.
Yep.
So you will see a picture, there will be a red wine in there, but it's really known for white wines. So, and I already mentioned them, which ones they were. In Switzerland, the wines in that region were mostly white wines as well. So they had a few red wines
Now,
too, but it's mostly,
before you went, did you know you'd have all these museums and everything you could visit?
No.
No.
Sometimes I like to have.
You just said we're gonna go.
Because again, we had plans to like go to Freiburg, or to Basel, and we just said like, oh my God, there's so much to do here. Why should we go? This is like, we were like walking distance. We didn't stay in a hotel. We stayed in an apartment. We could walk right down everywhere. So it was very walkable town. We just parked our car in the garage that they gave us, and
that was it.
That was it. It was just like you couldn't have spent any nicer time anywhere else. It was just beautiful.
Very relaxing,
very pretty. Very relaxing, not having to drive. You could just, walk in the morning. Like you lived like locals. It's really true. Airbnb really says that, you live like locals.
Now, do your folks speak English well? Do they speak French or mostly German?
They spoke German, yes.
Now, were the people there able to communicate with your folks?
They
did.
German.
They all spoke
German. They spoke German, but you know what? I always make an effort. Whatever country I go to, I make an effort. So, so we were in 2 French-speaking regions, really. So Switzerland, which was French.
Do they speak Swiss? I assume in Switzerland,
they speak German and Italian as well. So.
In other words, if I lived in Switzerland, it's likely I would be comfortable with German, Italian, French, and Swiss.
Yeah, it depends on
really. So I might know 4 languages.
Yeah, it's possible,
Now this is toys.
So that's toys, so that's still the toy museum, which was really cute to kind of visit, and there's some really old toys. So there were some games they had there as well, and you're like, oh my God, I remember them. You got really thrown back into time, like,
You're
Barbie
not
dolls.
that old, Nicole. You're not that old.
I mean, it was great for like my parents too. So yeah, we love like model trains. So my dad used to have one. But one typical thing is like the stork that you see, that a black and white bird there with the a red beak. It's actually a good sign of, it's almost like when that bird flies around, it's normally brings the babies.
Oh, okay.
So, and those storks are, close to extinction, but in that area in Alsace, they are plenty of them.
Oh, really?
And that's kind of very common for where my grandmother lives on the Slovenian-Hungarian border. It's very much populated with storks. So, yeah,
isn't that
it's a sanctuary for them, which is nice, that
I don't know. They probably don't talk about it, but we just had a...
so there's actually a true boulangerie, so they make their breads there.
That's interesting. I never knew that you could call yourself a boulangerie if you didn't bake there.
Yes, I learned that in France. So.
Oh, they told you that?
In Paris, actually. This is close to, I think, where my...
Oh, the architecture is just...
Yeah, it's so colorful.
Storybook.
And yeah. Definitely very charming. Just so you just walk around. The shopping there was actually quite good as well. So I did some clothes shopping.
What did you find that you liked?
So I went shopping for my husband there with some different outfits and ties. I got him a shirt. I think I got him a very cute shirt because it's unique. Again, if the price is right, you go far with your money.
Did you find they made some of the clothing in that area, or was it just?
Oh, I think
if you go to Ireland,
yes,
they have those fabulous knitted sweaters.
Or the same in Iceland. Yeah, you would find that too. Yes.
Yes. So did they have any specific?
They do, yes. And we actually see some traditional clothes there as well. And I did get, for my girlfriend, she was having a baby, or she had the baby actually at that time already. And I got her boy like a little, very, very, it was like hand knit. And you could purchase that. Here you would probably, or even like in Ireland or in Iceland, you would probably buy that for like a small little kid's sweater for like $50-$60.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it was not that much. Yeah, for the little baby.
Because sometimes you find, here's your Venetian boat ride.
Yeah. So in that building there on the right is actually the market house. So the market house.
Oh, they have an open market? You mean for the different foods and cheeses?
Yes.
Oh, I love those.
Yes. So I went shopping there for my grandparents. So I got them a whole little basket together. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Instead of like,
they have the little butcheries and bakery. Oh, yes.
Yeah, the different jams they have there, the cheeses. We got cheese there. So
and you can take the boat right to the market.
Yeah, I mean, they can drop you off there.
Wow.
But that was the original way how they used to travel. So a lot of tourism, tourism industry in that village for sure. But they also have, I think they have factories like, I'm not sure if it was Novartis, but Liebherr, which is like, I don't know if you know Liebherr. Liebherr is like, they're kind of like the caterpillars.
They make big machinery for construction.
So once
in
a while you see them around here as well, but they have like a French base there near Colmar.
I think I have seen them.
Yeah.
And they're French.
Yes.
Yes, I have seen them.
They're Swiss.
Swiss?
Yes. So they have
I have
Swiss
seen
base.
that name.
Yeah, so they're not just making the big heavy machinery, they're also the wine that we had in Switzerland where all the wine was stored, where they gave us the key to in the castle. That was actually in the fridge from Liebherr as well. So they do make...
the refrigerator was Liebherr. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So they're like very integrated. They make...
Yeah, and they also have like...
if you see this big machinery out of Japan, Fujitsu and stuff, they make the backloaders and all that, but they also make TVs. And,
so sometimes if the machinery goes a little...
They have a retail section.
Yeah.
Siemens, I know, the big German company.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do construction equipment. Probably...
Actually, that's a good question.
They do a huge electronics. They do
they do generators.
They do generators. They do big power plants.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do huge stuff.
That, But yeah. So that's the interesting thing about that area.
Look at this, how
that they
pretty
have
with
in
all the
this-
shutters and.
Yes, and decorated the houses, and there's a little choo-choo train
Did you
going.
find out? It's an awkward question. And do they do things special for Christmas time? Like
Yes.
they do.
So
I was going to say
did
these tourist communities are probably very hyped up for Christmas.
Yes. So because that's close to the German border again, people, I've never experienced it, but I asked locals before, and they said like the best Christmas market you can find in France will be in Strasbourg, which is like just north of Colmar. So it's about 40 miles or so. Yeah.
And why is it the best one? Because it's
again, it has, if you around this whole beautiful architecture where it's like that cute and warm and welcoming.
that would be, something that
And they
would
really
probably
go
be a nice
out.
trip to do.
Yeah,
To go up
Strasbourg,
in that area, and if you're a skier in particular.
Yeah.
To go skiing there and then go to the Christmas market in one of these towns.
So I should say like what the distance is between Sierre, where we stayed on the vineyard, as well, to France. It's 2 hours.
That's not bad at all.
2.5 hours.
No, but
drive.
the whole region seems like a very...
Very easy to travel there. So it's you just gotta keep the speed limit, which is hard for a German.
No, it just sounds very like a very special area. I think today a lot of travelers are looking for this kind of area, a little bit off the beaten track.
Yes, this is off the beaten
Not
track.
as much, but not as much attention from international troublemakers.
Yes, yeah.
So
that region is definitely, wouldn't have, as many.
Well, you got to be careful everywhere, but I'm just saying, that I think, those are the kind of areas you tend to feel a little more comfortable in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this
That's
is
more that home feeling. That's right.
Yes.
That's true,
oh no,
but,
this was very, very special that you brought this to us today.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bill, you better hurry
so
the
there's
pictures so I can get them in.
Yeah. So there you actually see a red wine. So you can get red wines there as well.
And what are we eating? I see cabbage.
I should say, we mentioned a lot of like sausages, and they are big into cheeses there as well. But you get most of your meals accompanied with a salad, a very healthy salad. So you can eat very healthy there if you wanted to. So this is like a quiche.
No,
with
I don't want to eat healthy. I want to eat bratwurst with sauerkraut and mustard.
Yeah, I know. And then flush it down with some schnapps.
There you go. Well, this raspberry
brandy,
liquor you gave me, brandy was good too.
Yes. So there, I took a picture of that as well. So I just... I think the pink dots were like on typical kind of meals from that region.
Yeah.
That's why they put the dot on there. And there was a
they
meal.
They do a nice cheese omelet. Oh, I bet that's good from all the cheeses in those
cheese
areas.
omelet. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, they have a Munster cheese. It's typical for that area as well.
You must have known you were going to be on my TV show, and you said, I better bring Jack menus. He always asked me about food.
That was it.
Oh, look at this.
And there's some spätzle with some mushroom cream
the
sauce.
spätzle.
We were talking about those a minute ago. Actually, look at the bottle
and
there
again,
in
you're
the
right,
background.
though, with the green stem on the glass.
Yeah. Oh, and I should say, like, you see, like, I got 3 different bottles here from, and they're all Alsatian bottles, but all of them have the same shape.
Yes.
So this is also a typical thing for Alsace.
Yes.
And you find this also on the German side. So there's a difference between Alsatian wines compared to German wines. German wines tend to be on the drier side and
even though they're so close to each other.
Yeah, so they're on the drier side. Over the years, they've tended to go more to the drier side, but they're also very powerful flavors. Versus the Alsatian wines, they said
a little more subtle.
They got more into the sweeter side.
Sweeter.
So muscatellas they have there as well. The Cremant is Cremant de Muscat is an excellent wine as well. So, so this is a typical.
See, I
dish
always like to look at the food pictures.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So
What is
that's why
this?
I'm like the pink dot that was on the menu that actually was for this one. So it's a meat roll, and if you would come to one of my cooking classes at Azabet, you would actually
send me an email. I'll make a trip.
Okay.
But go ahead, tell me. This looks interesting.
This is like it's like minced meat, and they put it in like it's a noodle dough. So they roll it up.
So almost like a pasta.
Yes, like a pasta dish.
Pasta dish, yeah.
So in Germany, it would be called a Maultasche. But there they rolled it up, and then they actually fried it a little bit on, you mostly boil it. So everything gets boiled, and they might have baked it or put it in the frying pan for a little bit. And then it's garnished with some carrots.
Fresh vegetables.
Yes, fresh vegetables. So, yeah. So
the dessert.
And they had a name for it. I forgot the name, but it was like, and it's almost sounded German as well. And yes, they have obviously a good ice cream.
Yes,
as well,
I love ice cream. And they give you a nice Dentel wafer.
Yes. Yeah, so
and
that
it looks like fresh cherries, maybe.
Yeah,
is that possible? Or strawberries?
I think raspberries or strawberries.
Raspberries and some sliced almonds, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, I'm ready to go.
It was like, and there you see some traditional clothing now, which reminds me a lot.
Looks German.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's if you would go from there.
I'm sorry, Nicole. This building, although I know you're in France, looks very German. The dirndl this gal in the red's got on looks very German.
Okay, so now that I'm seeing there's a statue there in the back there.
I see.
So now that I'm being reminded that I have to tell you. So the big connection of Colmar with New York City is that August Bartholdi is the person born in this village, and he built the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the big connection.
Oh, wow.
And you can actually go to the Bartholdi Museum, which we did with my parents, and it's definitely worth to visit as well.
Oh, so he is from this town?
Yes.
Isn't that funny? I always figured he'd be from Paris or something.
Yes. So he was born there. His birth house is made into a museum, and you see different versions of sculptures that he's done over the years.
Really?
And we actually have one of his sculptures, well, actually 4 of them, 4 sculptures in Boston.
Really?
Yes, we didn't know that either.
Here's your wine again.
So here's another wine.
Again with the green stem. You're right. Every
how the labels.
Well, it must tie in with the bottles. They all look kind of green.
Yeah, they're all green, and the long bottles.
They're color coordinated wines.
750 milliliter bottles.
Where are you going next?
So where I'm going next, I'm actually going to visit my grandma. And actually, I shouldn't say it. I'm going back to Iceland. So
back to Iceland after Iceland, where?
And after Iceland, I'm going to Budapest. Yes.
I love Budapest.
Yes.
We will talk about Budapest. I want you to do me a favor. We have to wind up very quickly. I'm going to rush it in.
Yes.
When you go to Budapest.
Yes.
Get me lots of pictures and come back and visit.
Yes.
Budapest has great food, by the way.
Oh, yes.
And you got to go to the baths. They got these big mineral baths you'll have to go.
Yes.
Yep. And you'll have lunch at the Four Seasons Hotel.
Okay.
Has great lunch.
Have you been to New Yorker? That's another restaurant. That's beautiful architecture inside.
I went to a restaurant.
Okay, so I have to go there to just take pictures.
You will, but I did eat at a restaurant that was owned partially by a gentleman from New York who used to own the artists restaurant. What was it called? Palace des Artistes or something.
Okay.
And he owned a place in Budapest over near the embassies. And the food was wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Nicole.
Yes, this was
We'll
great.
see you soon.
Okay.
I think she really got me going with that liqueur.
Thank you so much, Jack.
Oh, it was a terrific.